เดินทางไกลเท่าไรก็ยังจะเก่า
So, Thai literature has always been deeply connected to its culture and spiritual traditions. It reflects a unique blend of Buddhism, Hinduism, and animism, where the physical and spiritual world exist side by side. So, in Thailand, superstition is not seen as something irrational. It acts as a moral guide that teaches people how to live ethically and in harmony with others. Ghosts, spirits, and karma appear frequently in Thai story, not for frighten, but to remind people about composition, consequences, and respect for other unseen. The growth of Theravada Buddhism introduced important moral ideas such as karma and composition, while native animist belief emphasized the worship of spirits and nature. A famous early text, Tai Pun Praruang, written in the 14th century, presents Buddhist cosmology and explains how good and bad deeds affect one's fate. Another classic, Kun Chang Kun Pain, uses love, jealousy, and magical forces to show how moral choices lead to either reward or suffering. This tradition continued to influence modern Thai literature and film. Even contemporary movies like Nang Na and Pima interpret ancient ghost legends to explore human emotions like love, loyalty, and loss. This shows that spiritual beliefs still shape Thai creativity and identity today. So, in conclusion, Thai superstition is more than belief. It is a reflection of moral and cultural values that have guided society for centuries. Through this anthology, we aim to show how literature and film use supernatural themes to express moral lessons, protect traditional values, and reveal how faith continues to influence the human experience in Thailand. Okay, so next I'll be presenting the literary background of Thai superstition and spirituality. Thai literature has always reflected the country's spiritual identity. From early inscription to modern stories, writer have shown how spirits, karma, and fate influence everyday life. Rather than seeing superstition as fear, Thai people view it as a part of religious and moral understanding, helping to maintain harmony between humans, nature, and the spiritual world. During the Sukhothai period, around the 13th and to 15th centuries, texts like Tribhumikata combine Buddhist ideas of karma and rebirth with folk beliefs in spirits and gods. People believe that their good or bad actions will shape their destiny, both in this life and the next. So, in the Ayutthaya period, literature became more emotional and dramatic. Folk tales such as Kun Chang Kun Pain meets romance, tragedy, and supernatural power, showing how moral and spiritual lessons were passed down through stories. Ghosts and curses were often symbol of love, justice, or divine punishment. Next, which is the Rattanakosin period, continued this tradition but introduced Western influences such as reason and modernism. Poets like Sultan Pu show how fantasy and real life could exist together. Later, ghost stories and legends were adapted into novels, poems, and films that still taught moral lessons. So, in the modern era, writers and filmmakers continue to use supernatural elements to reflect real social and emotional issues, like ghosts and karma now represent guilt, trauma, and moral decline. So, words like Shatter and Pima prove that even in a modern society, people still turn to spiritual belief to make sense of life. Overall, the literature demonstrates that superstition is not a thing of the past. It remains a living tradition that connects morality, faith, and culture. It continues to teach that every action, big or small, carries a karmic consequence. So I
Okay, now let's talk about Sultan Pu, 1786 until 1855. Sultan Pu is considered Thailand's greatest classical poet and is often called the bard of Ratanakosin or Thailand Shakespeare. He was born on 26 June 1786 during the reign of King Rama I and initially served as a royal scribe and poet under King Rama II. Later, he became the head of the royal scribe and was given the title Pra-Sultan of Vohara. Sultan Pu endured a tough childhood. His parents separated and his father became a monk while his mother served in the palace. Imprisonment and monastic life during his youth sculpted the emotional depth of his later writing. The most famous work of Sultan Pu is the epic poem Pra Apai Mani, composed in about 20 years from 1862. It narrates an adventurous, romantic tale full of mermaids, a girl like Rachel, and even reflect Buddhist moral teaching. His travel poems, such as Nirat Pukotong and Nirat Muang Klaing, express longing and sadness and present moral reflection through vivid descriptions of nature and human emotion. Today, Sultan Pu remains a national literary symbol. His birthday is celebrated as Sultan Pu Day, and his work continues to inspire generations of Thai readers and scholars. Erin Sweet Al-Mehairi, 2017 until now. Erin Sweet Al-Mehairi is an American poet, writer, and public relations professional. She holds degree in journalism, English, and history, and has over 20 years of experience in writing, editing, and publishing. Her debut collection, titled Breath, was released in 2017, and it explored themes of trauma, healing, and female empowerment. Al-Mehairi's writing style is often described as emotional and gothic, combining real-life pain with myth-inspired imagery. This unique blend has earned her recognition in both horror and contemporary literary communities. In her poem titled Nang Tani, she reimagines a figure from Thai folklore, which is the spirit of the banana tree, as a symbol of justice and female strength. Through this poem, Nantani became a voice of survival and emotional renewal, showing how grief can transform into empowerment. Al-Mehairi successfully connects traditional tales with modern psychological truths, creating a bridge between myth and human emotion through her vivid and haunting language. King Rama II, 1767 until 1824. King Rama II, also known as Pra Putaloetla Rapalai. He was born on February 24, 1767 and became the second king of the Chakri dynasty in Siam, succeeding his father King Rama I in 1809. His reign continued until his death in 1824. King Rama II is remembered as a patron of the arts, and his reign marked as a golden age of Ratanakosin literature. He was a poet and playwright himself and took great interest in literature, music, and performance arts. He encouraged poets, dramatists, and musicians to create work that reflect the beauty and the value of Thai culture. Under his patronage, many masterpieces were produced, including the work of Sultan Fu, who thrived during this culturally rich period. Beyond literature, King Ramatu also promoted cultural unity and national stability. Threatening Siam during the early Ratanakosin era, his support from the performing arts, especially drama, poetry, and dance, helped shape the court artistic identity and inspired generation of Thai artists. When he passed away in 1824, it marked the end of a peaceful and culturally vibrant era in Thailand history, leaving behind a rich legacy of art and literature that continues to be celebrated today.
เห็นแค่ดาวดวงเดียวแค่นั้นแม้มันจะนานที่เรา
Okay, so the first poem is Pram Apai Mani, Gosi Woman episodes created by Son Tengku, 1821 till 1844. So the background of this particular author is named Son Tengku, known as the Shakespeare of Thailand. Lived from 670 or 49 to 1855. So his outstanding works was combined adventures, Buddhism, philosophy, and Thai folklore. So Prai Apai Mani is one of his famous epic poems, blending morality, spirituality, and supernatural imagery. So his poetry continue to influence Thai literature and moral education today. So we move on to summary of the poem. This episode chapter tells the story of Pra Apai Mani, a prince and magician, which was captured by a sea giantess named Viswa Samur. Though she loved him, her affection turns possessive and destructive. So when the main character he escaped, then she the mermaid giantess unleashed a terrible storm, killing many people. So in the end, Prai Apai Mani applied his magic flute, calming her soul. The sea ghost turned into a stone, which is a symbol of love consumed by attachment and karma of uncontrolled desire. So the themes of this poem is which is reflect the Thai belief in Pi Tale, which is the female sea ghost, which is explore how the struggle between emotion, morality, spiritual balance. So one of the textual evidence taken from the poem itself, which is hearing the sound of the flute, her heart trembled. She rose from the depth of the sea. So this verse or particular stanza show how arts and virtue can calm a restless spirit, echoing the Buddhism idea that harmony, which harmony can overcome chaos itself. So we move on to literary devices, who imagery turns nature into emotion. One of the example sentences taken from the poem itself is the wave rolled across the sea, the wind blew fiercely as if in anger. So what it means is that the sea mirror visual turmoil. The flute symbolizes wisdom, which conquering passion. The tone moved from romantic to tragic, which showing us how the enlightenment through suffering. So next is the cultural or literary significance. The Ghost Sea Woman embodies Thailand fusion of Buddhism, animism, and lastly superstition. So the spirit serve as moral guardians while punishing arrogance and rewarding virtue. So one of the standards taken is righteousness conquer the power of spirit. Those with wisdom shall endure. This particular sentence taken from the poem itself is show that Pu transform folklore into a moral reflection, which teaching us indirectly that true peace, calm, and patience to wisdom. So we move on to the second poem, Nang Tani 2070 by Erwin Sweet Al-Mehari. The background of the author name is Erwin Sweet Al-Mehari, which is known as American writer known for dark, emotional, and mid-inspiring poetry. Her book breeds blend horror and healing through the lens of trauma and spiritual justice. So in this poem, she reinterprets that the Thai legend of Nang Tani is the banana tree spirit. So the summary of this poem is the poem tell of a woman who is escaping abuse, seeking help from the spirit itself named Nang Tani. Under the moon, she prays at the banana tree, which the evidence is from the poem. I walk alone in the night, holding sweet flower as offering to her. Then the spirit appears. The poem continues as I am the shadow of a woman betrayed and hurt in life. So by dawn, the woman now vengeance has begun. So the next evidence from the poem is any man who deceive a woman shall see the ghost of Nang Tani. So that is the summary of the poem. We move on the theme itself. So this poem explore many themes. For example, female pain, revenge, and karmic balance. For example, Nang Tani represent compassion and retribution, the spirit of justice reborn from suffering self. Vengeance symbolize empowerment and spiritual healing. So literary devices for this poem is the Al-Mehari, who is the writer, use vivid ritual imagery. For example, offering, moonlight, and fragrances. For example, one of the textual evidence taken from the poem is the banana tree bends to the moonlight like a woman waiting to be free. So the meaning of the poem is the tone shift from sorrow to divine strength while symbolizing rebirth through pain. So cultural and literacy significance. The poem emerged from Thai animism and feminism, reimagining, which is one of the example for the poem. Merit and sin follow oneself. The spirit of woman will not be silent. So that's one of the example taken from the poem, which Nang Tani become a symbol of karmic justice, turning superstition into female empowerment. So the third poem is Kun Chang Kun Pain from Birth of the Golden Child. This one is created by King Rama II Praputaliotala Napalai. So the background of the author is King Rama II himself, who reigned from 1809 to 1824, who was both monarch and poet. So his background is as a royal edition of Kun Chang Kun Pain Blend, which blend folklore, morality, and supernatural themes. So it illustrates how royal Thai literature bridge from spirituality and human emotion. So the summary of the poem, in the chapter Birth of the Golden Child, Kun Pen killed his wife named Wak Li after betrayal, which discovering that she was pregnant, and he performed a forbidden ritual to resurrect his unborn son as Guman Tong, a protective spirit. So one of the example taken for the poem text is he prayed while roasting the golden child. So the spirit awakened, pledging loyalty to his father, transforming sin into mystical protection. So the theme of this poem, the poem explore how revenge, love, and karma, which Kun Pain's action, show how grief can turn into spiritual rebellion, while Gumantong symbolize purity born from sin, protection through sacrifice, and this duality mirrors Buddhism belief in samsara, the cycle of rebirth through desire and suffering. So the next one is literary devices. The imagery of fire and gold represent purification and rebirth. This repetition of ritual and chant, for example, mimics and sacred incantation. The tone move from grief to divine awe, showing that transform into redemption. So the last one is cultural and literacy significant. This research shaped Thailand's spirit folklore, how the Gumantong become about the literary symbol and real life amulet of protection, which reflect the coexistence of Buddhism, Brahmanism, and animism. This faith intertwined with magic and morality. So our last poem to analyze is Lilit Prayu, which for Prachakru Pichet from 1859. So the background of the author is Prakachu Pichet, who was also a royal Brahmin scholar and poet in 19th century. So he worked Lilit Prayu blends where Buddhism, Brahmanical, and animism elements, reflecting Thai cosmology and royal ritual belief. So the summary of the poem: Lilit Prayu tale of a prince navigating love, duty, and supernatural danger. The sea and spirit test his courage. Ritual expert perform chant to protect him from the curse and fates. The story shows how human will depend on harmony with unforeseen forces. So the theme of this poem is connect human with destiny, with the spirit world itself. The spirit act as moral regulators, punishing desire while rewarding humanity. So the ritual serve as protection, showing that superstition sustain moral order. So the literary devices for this poem is Pichet use symbolic imagery. For example, the sea, night, and rituals, which to invoke spiritual conflict. The rhythmic repetition mirrors the cadence of sacred chant, while shift into tone reflect the struggle between faith and fear. So the cultural literacy significance for this poem is Lilit Prayu reveal that the Thai worldview where superstition, morality, and ritual are inseparable. So the spirit guide human action, and literature become a vessel for both faith and ethic. So the poem reminds the reader or us that unseen forces shape destiny as much as human choice do. So through this poem, we see that superstition in Thai literature is not a mere fear of ghosts, but also as a reflection of morality, karma, and human emotion. Spirit ritual and mythic also remind us all to live with balance and respect for unseen world.
จากลาแม้จะได้เจอใครๆผ่านมา
So for the first part of chapter 5, I've chosen the tale of Menang of Prakanong. So when it comes to the background, Menang of Prakanong, or we called it as Menak Prakanong in Thai, is one of the most iconic ghost legends in Thailand, originating during the early Ratanakosin period. The story, rooted in both oral folklore and also Buddhist tradition, the story reflects Thai society's fascination with love, death, and spiritual consequence. The legend, passed down through generations, symbolizes undying devotion that transcends mortality but also defies its karmic law, or we call it as karma. This tale has inspired countless adaptations in Thai literature, whether in theatre or film, such as the popular very first version of Menak, which is Nangnak, a movie released in 1999, and also the comedic version or a twist of the plot, which is called Pima, released in 2013. So, through its emotional narrative and spiritual symbolism, this story captures the essence of Thai beliefs in
karma, or Thai people call it as karma. Spirits, or P, means ghost, and the moral balance between love and detachment. When it comes to the synopsis of the story, the tale begins with a young couple, Ma and his devoted wife, Na, living peacefully in the Prakanong district near Bangkok, or Thai people call it as Krung Thep. When Ma is drafted into military service, he ends up leaving his pregnant wife behind, promising to return back to her soon. During his absence, Na ends up dies tragically during childbirth, along with her baby. However, her spirit, driven by deep love and longing, remains unaware of her own death and continues to live as if it's still alive, waiting for her husband's return, which is Ma. When Mark comes back from war, he finds Na and their child at home, welcoming him lovingly. At first, everything seems normal, but the villagers, those who actually know what happened to her, become terrified. Those who attempt to warn Mark, the husband, about his wife's death are killed by the vengeful spirit. One evening, Mark witnesses a chilling scene, which is Na, his wife, stretching her arm unnaturally long just to pick up a line that rolled under the house. Realizing that she is a ghost, Ma ends up flees in horror and takes refuge in a nearby temple. Feeling heartbroken, Nat's spirit follows him, but the monks intervene by performing sacred rituals and reciting Buddhist chants to release her from earthly attachment. Eventually, Nat's soul finds peace and is sealed within a sacred urn, symbolizing the restoration of moral balance between the living and the spiritual realms. Okay, the reason that I chose this short story to conduct the project with my teammates is because the story of Mena of Prakanong perfectly embodies the anthology's focus on superstition, morality, and the spiritual world. It reflects on the Thai concept of Huam Che Nai Pi, which is the belief that the spirit world and human world coexist and influence each other. Nat's devotion, true rooted in love, represents excessive attachment or tanha, which is one of the primary causes of suffering in Buddhist philosophy. Her haunting basically signifies the karmic consequence of emotional imbalance, where love without spiritual awareness leads to torment. The story also explores the existence of avijja, or we call it as ignorance of the truth, as both Na and Ma suffer from their inability to accept impermanence. Through superstition and ghostly imagery, this tale serves as a moral allegory, reminding audiences who knows or read about this story that compassion and spiritual release, not possession or desire, leads to enlightenment. When it comes to cultural or literary significance, culturally, this story is more than a ghost story. Why? Because it is a reflection of Thai moral and emotional values. The tale itself embodies devotion, faith, and the consequences of clinging to the material world. As you can see, the way the wife, which is Na, cannot accept that she is already dead and still ends up waiting for her husband to come back home. Okay, so its continued retelling across different generations reveals that the Thai believe that love and karma are very intertwined with each other. So the monks, or we call it as the Samis in Malay, they play a very vital role in terms of restoring the balance, showing how Buddhist institutions act as a moral protector in the face of supernatural disruption. So the story also highlights gendered perspective within Thai folklore, portraying Mena as both a tragic heroine and also a cautionary figure whose emotions transcend reason. As a literary work, the tale unites religion, folklore, and also emotion, illustrating that Thai superstition functions as a guide for ethical conduct and as a means of preserving cultural memory through storytelling. Okay, next, let's talk about Prikasa Village Tale. So the background of the story, the Pik Rasa is one of Thailand's most recognizable pieces of folk horror, deeply rooted in rural oral traditions across central and also northeastern regions. The Krasa is depicted as a floating female head with glowing entrails trailing beneath it, often seen feeding on raw meat or blood during the night. Scholars trace the legend's origins to ancient animist and Buddhist beliefs, representing impurity, spiritual imbalance, and karmic punishment. In traditional Thai culture, the Krasa is both feared and pitied, serving as a reminder of moral law and the human capacity for redemption. The story has been retold in modern Thai literature and film, symbolizing humanity's struggle with inner corruption and moral restoration. So the synopsis of the story is the story is set in a quiet village surrounded by fields and forest. A young woman, often called as Seng or Noi, in oral versions, lives peacefully but harbors a secret curse. In some tellings, she practices forbidden magic, which is black magic, to gain beauty or love. While in others, she becomes cursed through jealousy or wrongdoing. As night falls, her head detaches from her body, and her glowing entrails illuminate the darkness as she roams in search of blood and flesh to survive. Terrified villagers report seeing her drifting through the trees, bringing illness and death to those nearby her. During the day, Seng hides her secret, performing good deeds and making offerings to monks in an attempt to atone for her sins. When her curse is discovered, the villagers unite to perform protective rituals using sacred yanta cloths, talismans, and prayers to drive away the spirit. In some versions, she ends up repents and dies peacefully after earning forgiveness through boon, or we call it as merit making. Her release brings spiritual calm to the village, restoring moral and natural order. So the reason that I chose this short story is because the story reflects the anthology's central theme of superstition and moral consequence. The transformation of a woman turns into a ghostly figure symbolizes impurity and karmic retribution. Her curse embodies the Buddhist principle of karma or karma, where human actions determine future suffering or peace. The grotesque imagery of the Krasa externalizes inner moral corruption and warns against excessive desire, vanity, and transgression. At the same time, her yearning for redemption through merit and kindness reveals that compassion can also overcome fear. The tale highlights how Thai superstition functions as a moral framework, guiding people to live ethically and remain spiritually balanced through respect, humility, and faith. So, the Prekrasu village tale continues to hold deep cultural meaning in Thai literature and oral storytelling. It illustrates how ghost story convey ethical lessons and preserve traditional beliefs. The spirit suffering encourages empathy while reinforcing the moral boundaries that sustain community harmony. The tale also reflects Thai social views on purity, gender, and morality, showing how women's virtue is connected to spiritual order. The story's endurance in contemporary retellings, films, and village folklore demonstrates how superstition remains a living tradition that both frightens but also educates. Ultimately, this tale upholds Thailand's spiritual worldview that sin, merit, and redemption coexist, teaching that even cursed souls can achieve peace through compassion and moral reflection. For chapter 6, I'm going to share to you about the film analysis. So, the film that I've chosen to contribute in this assignment is a film called Phobia. So, Phobia, released in 2008, is a Thai horror anthology film produced by a very well-known entertainment company in Thailand, which is called GMM Thai Hub, or GTH, or now it is called as GMMTV. So the movie consists of 4 short films directed by renowned Thai filmmakers, which is Yong Youth Tongkuton, Pawin Purikit Panya, Banjong Pisan Tanakun, and Pompum Nompum. Each segment explores a distinct aspect of human emotion, which is loneliness or kwam ngao, revenge, care, denial, kan patiset kwam jing, and also guilt, kwam ru swekpit, through supernatural accountants. The title phobia actually plays on the word phobia, symbolizing the fears rooted in both physical and psychological suffering. So the film is significant for its contemporary interpretation of Thai spiritual beliefs, showing that even in modern society, technology and emotion are still governed by karma, and the unseen world, or we call it as Lok Pi. Collectively, these 4 stories demonstrate Thailand's mastery of horror while preserving Buddhist and animist values within cinematic storytelling. So, when it comes to the synopsis, this film is divided into 4 stories. So, the first one we have loneliness or ngao. The second one we have deadly charm, or we call it in Thai as yan sang tai. Next, we have the man in the middle, or kon klang. And the final one, which is the most, I think the most tragic one, is Flight 224 or Tiao Pin 224. So each segment portrays ordinary individuals who confront supernatural events resulting from moral weakness, ignorance, or we call it as avijja, or unresolved karma, kam yang mai sang si. So the anthology emphasizes that human emotions, when detached from mindfulness or sati and moral awareness or silatham, can disturb the balance between the living and also spiritual realms. Despite their different settings, all 4 stories shares a moral core, which is fear and suffering can arise from attachment, or we call it as tanha, and that only truth and compassion can bring peace, or santi.
To conclude, Anchors of Karma shows that superstition in Thai literature and film is not just about ghosts or fear. It is about morality, belief, and human emotion. From ancient poems to modern cinema, the supernatural reflect how Thai people understand life, death, and the consequences of their actions. This story teaches that good deeds brings harmony while greed, jealousy, or wrongdoing lead to suffering. By blending Buddhist values, animist belief, and cultural tradition, Thai writer and filmmaker remind us that unseen forces still influence daily life. The idea of karma, that everything we do returns to us, continues to guide moral behavior and inspire creativity. So in the end, a superstition becomes more than tradition. It is a living philosophy that connects the past and present, teaching that spiritual balance and compassion remains at the heart of Thai.
เมื่อวันหลงฉันยังมีแค่เราเมื่อวันฉันไม่คิดจะลืม